today, I'm so glad Emmett and Quinn are here. I'm so glad Marissa and Michael are here. I'm so glad Mila and Willa are here. Hey, hey, what a beautiful day, because Ailey and Carter and Edwin are here. Hello and welcome to the Casa Aria. I'm Miss Kyala. And this is my friend.
My name is Eleanor Bubblegum, but you can call me Bubbles.
And Bubbles would like to tell you this very special thing that we're going to do today.
Yes, Miss Kyala. Miss Kyala and I are going to go to the park at Trout Lake. And that's just in our backyard. We're very, very lucky, aren't we, Miss Kyala?
Oh yes, Bubbles, we love Trout Lake. It's such a beautiful and happy place. So we thought we'd take you there today to tell you a very special story.
So, we're going to pack up all our instruments, right, Miss Kyala?
Yes, we're going to pack up all our instruments and we'll meet you at the park in just a few moments, okay? We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Decided to come out here today and tell you a story. Bubbles, would you like to tell them what story we're going to tell?
Oh yes, Miss Kyala, I would love to say. It's called The Legend of Little Jumping Mouse. And it's one of my favorite ones, and I always say, Miss Kyala, can you please tell me this story every night before I go to bed? And she always tells me it again and again, and I just love it, and we wanted to share it with you, didn't we, Miss Kyala?
Yes, Bubbles, we really did. We wanted to share it with you. So I'll put Bubbles in her chair right now. And we'll start the story because The Legend of Jumping Mouse. Once there was a little mouse who scurried all around his village, doing the little mousy things that mice do, picking up little seeds and storing them for the long winters. And it was always busy with its mousy brothers and sisters. But one day, Little Mouse heard a sound. And it sounded like this. And Little Mouse stopped and said, "What is that sound? Brothers, sisters, do you hear that sound?" And the brothers and sisters says, "You are silly. We do not hear any sounds. Go ahead and go about your mousy things and stop being silly about sounds." So Little Mouse said, "Oh, I must have just thought I heard that," and went about and did his little scurrying all around, and then he heard it again. Just like that. And Little Mouse said, "Brothers and sisters, I heard it again. Can you hear it?" And the little mice said, "You're so silly. We do not hear anything. You're just hearing things." And Little Mouse said, "I am not hearing things. And so I must go investigate and see what that sound is." So Little Mouse got all of his courage, and he had to just do like this. Can you do this too? To get your courage and put it all in your body like that? So Little Mouse got all of his courage, because you see, he had to go very fast, for there were many great birds in the sky flying around, and he did not want to become their dinner. So Little Mouse scurried under a bush and scurried underneath the tree, and all of a sudden, Little Mouse heard a sound that went like this. And Little Mouse froze in his tracks, so frightened and scared. Oh no, something's going to eat me. What is it?" And then the voice said, "It is I, Raccoon." And Little Mouse said, "Raccoon, Raccoon. What is a raccoon? I don't know Raccoon." And Raccoon said, "It is I. Come and see." So Little Mouse came out and saw Raccoon. And Raccoon said, "What are you doing here?" And Little Mouse said, "Why, I heard this sound. And I've come to investigate to see what the sound is." And Raccoon said, "Well, then I shall be your guide, and I will take you to the sound." So off they went, and Little Mouse was still very frightened, but very happy to have a guide called Raccoon. And they walked all the way till they got to a bigger sound. You see, it sounded like this. And Little Mouse said to Raccoon, "What is that great, incredible sound?" And Raccoon said, "It is the mighty river." Mighty river, mighty river, what is a mighty river? I don't know what that is. Well, this is a very mighty river, and it's very beautiful, isn't it? Said Raccoon. And then Raccoon said, "I must leave you now, for there are others I must guide." So Little Mouse said goodbye to Raccoon and went along his way towards the mighty rushing river. Out in the river, in a spot that was very calm, he heard this sound. And Little Mouse said, "What is it? What is it? What is it? What is that sound?" And the sound said, "It is I. I am Frog." Frog? What is a frog? I don't know what a frog is. Oh, a frog is me, you see? And I can jump and jump. And you see, Frog was out on a lily pad. And Frog showed Little Mouse how to jump up and how to go under the water. For you see, Frog had the medicine of living on top of the water and under the water. And so Frog said to Mouse, "Would you like to have some of my medicine?" And Little Mouse said, "Oh, yes, I would love some of your medicine." So Frog said then, "Crouch down just like this. And I'll count to 3. And when I do, you jump up really high." So Little Mouse got down just like this. And Frog counted 1, 2, and 3. And Mouse jumped up so high. And then when Mouse came down, he hit the water. And he'd never been in the water before. And he was so frightened. And he said, "Frog, Frog, you have tricked me." And Frog said, "Well, what did you see when you jumped up so high?" And Mouse said, "Well, I saw something. I saw the mountain." And Frog said, "That was the sacred mountain." The sacred mountain. Oh, that is so wonderful. I must go home as quickly as I can, and I must tell my brothers and sisters. And Frog said, "Well, before you do, would you like to have a new name?" Oh, Mouse thought, a new name. I would love a new name. So Frog said, "You shall now be called Little Jumping Mouse." Oh, Little Jumping Mouse. Mouse thought, "Oh, I like that name so much. I shall be called Little Jumping Mouse." So Jumping Mouse scurried back home as fast as he could, you see, for he didn't want to be the dinner of a great bird or another animal. And when Mouse got home, he saw all his little brothers and sisters doing all their mousy things. And he said, "Brothers, sisters, I have seen something so beautiful. I have seen the mighty river." But nobody would listen. The mice said, "You are silly. There is no mighty river. And why are you wet?" And Little Mouse looked and thought that he was still wet. And all of the brothers and sisters were scared of him, for they didn't know about getting wet in the mighty river. And so Mouse was all by himself with his great surprise and his new name, and nobody would listen. Oh dear. And then, all of a sudden, Little Jumping Mouse saw the sacred mountain in his mind. And he said, "I must go investigate." So he got up all his courage, and you can do that too. Get your courage all up. Put it in your body again and again. And then he ran as fast as he could under the trees and underneath all of the bushes to be safe. And then, just as he was hiding in this great bush, for you see, he didn't want to become the dinner of an animal, he heard this sound. little mouse said, "Oh, whatever is that sound?" And the sound said, "I am Buffalo, and I am very sick, for you see I'm going to die." And little mouse said, "Oh dear, he's going to die. What can I do to help him?" And the buffalo said, "Well, I know what will help me, and that would be the eye of a mouse." Mouse thought, "I'm a mouse, and I have an eye. I could give him my eye, but oh no, if I do, I will only have one eye. Put your hand over your eye and see what it's like to only have one eye." Oh, little mouse was very frightened, but gathered up all of his courage. Can you gather your courage up again and put it in your body just like that? And then mouse heard this sound again. Oh! And mouse said, "I cannot let this great, beautiful buffalo die. I will give him my eye." And when he did, the eye flew out of little jumping mouse's head and into the buffalo, and the buffalo was well again. And he was so well and so strong. And he said, "Jumping mouse, how may I help you? For you have made me well again, and I want to give you something." And jumping mouse said, "Well, I need to go to the sacred mountain to investigate." And so buffalo said, "I will take you there. You can walk underneath me, and I will take you there safely." And of course jumping mouse was frightened because he'd never been under a great buffalo, and what if the buffalo stepped on him? And buffalo said, "Don't you worry, I will take great care." So he gathered up all his courage. Let's do it again. Let's get our courage and put it in our body. And little jumping mouse walked underneath of this great beast called the buffalo. And they walked all the way to the bottom of the mountain. And then buffalo said, "Little mouse, I must leave you here, for there are others I must guide." And little mouse said, "Okay, thank you for taking me here," and waved goodbye to buffalo. And then little mouse with only one eye looked around. Cover your eye and look around and see what you can see. And thought, "How will I get up to this mountain?" When all of a sudden he heard this sound. And little mouse said, "What is that sound? What is that?" And then he came and he looked under the bush and saw that it was a great wolf. "It's a wolf." And wolf said, "Oh, wolf, wolf, that's what I am. I am a wolf. Oh, I am a wolf. Oh!" For you see, wolf had no memory. And as soon as he remembered, he forgot again who he was. And he said, "Oh, I don't remember." And little jumping mouse said, "You're a wolf, you're a wolf." And then wolf said, "I'm a wolf." And on this went. And mouse said, "I cannot let this poor beast have no memory, and I know what will help." Oh! It is the eye of a mouse, isn't it? Oh, but if I give the wolf my eye, I will be blind. Can you put your hands over your eyes and see what it's like to be blind? Little mouse couldn't see anything. And then little mouse heard again, "Oh, I don't remember who I am." And mouse said, he gathered up all his courage. Let's gather it up again. Gather it, and gather it, and put it in your heart and in your body. And mouse said, little jumping mouse said, "I shall give him my eye." And pop, it flew right out of his head and into the wolf. And the wolf remembered who it was. "Oh, I am a great and mighty wolf. Oh, thank you, little mouse. You have given me your great medicine, and now I remember who I am." And little mouse just sat there for us, you see. Little mouse was blind, for he had given both of his eyes, so others could be well. And so the wolf said, "What can I do?" to help you?" And little mouse said, "Well, I'm trying to get to the top of the sacred mountain." And so the wolf said, "Climb on my back." And little mouse did. Little mouse climbed on the wolf's back, and they ran all the way up to the top of the mountain. And when they got to the top of the mountain, Wolf took Mouse to the beautiful sacred lake at the top of the mountain. And it was a crystal clear lake. And little Mouse said, "I cannot see anything. Brother Wolf, will you tell me what you see?" And Brother Wolf heard the sounds. And so did little Mouse. They heard the sounds of the sacred lake, where you see it had such beautiful sounds. And Brother Wolf said, "I can see everything in the world from here. I see all the people. I see everything that's happening. And I see so much love and beauty and peace." And so Wolf said, "But I must leave you here, for there are others that I must guide." And so little Mouse, who was completely blind, said goodbye to Brother Wolf, and was very scared and had to gather all of his courage again, for you see there was nothing to protect him at the top of this mountain. There were no trees. He was just completely open. And so he took his little hands and with his blind eyes, and he felt down into the sacred lake and took a little bit of water. Can you do that? Can you gather a little water in your hands and drink it? Oh, and it was so fresh and so good and so delicious. And then little Mouse stood up and didn't know what to do next. And it felt this great shadow coming towards it, you see, because there was nothing to protect it. And all of a sudden it felt something grab it just like that, and it went to sleep. And little Mouse didn't think it would ever wake up again, you see. But all of a sudden it felt itself in a different body. And when it opened its eyes, it could see. "I can see," little Mouse said. And then little Mouse looked down and saw Brother Frog, and saw the frog. "Hello, Frog." "Oh, there's Raccoon." "Hello, Raccoon." "Oh, and look, there's the great grand buffalo." "Hello, Buffalo, Buffalo, can you see me?" And then said, "Oh, and there's Wolf running and howling so healthy. Can you see me? Hello?" And they all looked up, you see. And then, you see, little Mouse looked and saw that it had wings, and it was no longer a mouse. You see, it had great wings and could fly, and it could see great, great, great distances. And little Mouse had turned into an eagle, had given all of its medicine and turned into a great eagle, and could see everything everywhere. And this is what it heard as it flew. That is the legend of Jumping Mouse, and it's one of my favorites too. Did you enjoy that, Bubbles?
Oh yes, Miss Kyala, I love the buffalo and how so much courage. That the little jumping mouse had so much courage. It makes me feel inspired.
Do you mean that it makes you feel inspired?
Oh yes, it makes me feel inspired to do good things too.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's really nice. And it makes me feel inspired to do good things too. And I hope it makes you feel inspired to do nice things for your family and your friends and for the world too. Well, from Trout Lake, Bubbles and I are ready to say goodbye, but we'll see you back at home, okay? So it's been such a great day today for Bubbles and I. It's been so much fun to tell stories and show you all our beautiful instruments.
Yes, Miss Kyala, that was one of my most special days, and I really love seeing all the baby geese and the mommy geese and the daddy geese at the lake.
I love that too, Bubbles, because we get to watch them grow up, don't we?
Yes, and we go out there every day, and we get to see the little geese grow up, and that's very special.
It's so special to watch baby geese grow up. Have you ever watched little geese? And how they're so teeny, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they grow into adults, and that's super cool and fun to watch. So it's time for us to sing our goodbye song now. And those little teeny goslings, that's what little geese are called, they kind of remind me of little tiny lights, like our little song. We are tiny lights that sparkle and glow in a world much bigger than you ever know. We are tiny lights shining so bright in a world we know is gonna be alright. So from the Casa Aria, from me, Miss Kyala,